It took me 13 years of fatherhood to learn this about discipline. I'll show you in 10 minutes. I've been a dad for 13 years. And for most of those years, I got discipline completely wrong. You know what? I didn't know I was getting it wrong. I thought I was doing what I was supposed to do. Be firm, be consistent, make sure they know that you're in charge. And I still fall into that trap today. Why? Because it looked like it was working. My kids obeyed. But here's what I didn't see. I was building compliance, not character. And I was doing it with anger dressed up as authority. Let me show you what I mean. My daughter, she's 8 now. And even still, bedtime can be a battle. Mom tells her it's time for bed. Nothing. 5 minutes later, I'll say, it's bedtime. She's still playing. 10 minutes later, I'm standing in her doorway, jaw clenched, voice raised. When I say bed, I mean bed. And it works. She gets in bed. But I can see it in her face, through the tears. She isn't obeying because she trusted me. She's obeying because she is afraid of me. And that's not authority. That's intimidation. With my 13-year-old son, the opposite problem. Too soft, too many chances. I'll say, take out the garbage or lose your PlayStation. He wouldn't do it. And I'd find some reason to just let it slide. 3 days later, same thing, same empty threat. And you know what he learned? My words didn't matter. That dad doesn't always mean what he says. So here's the question a lot of us have to face. What does biblical discipline actually look like when you're doing it wrong? And here's what I found. I'd been believing 2 lies. With my daughter, if I'm not loud, I'm not leading. With my son, if I'm too hard, I'm damaging him. It took me 13 years to figure out what was actually happening. And I still fall into the same traps sometimes. Here's what I wish someone had told me on day 1. The reason we swing between too harsh and too soft isn't because we need better techniques. It's because we don't understand what biblical discipline is. Listen to Proverbs 3. My child, don't reject the Lord's discipline, and don't be upset when He corrects you. For the Lord corrects those He loves, just as a father corrects a child in whom He delights. The Lord corrects those He loves. He delights in the child He disciplines. That sentence should awaken something in us. Think about the last time you disciplined your kid. Were you delighting in them? Or were you frustrated, annoyed, at the end of your rope? If I'm honest, a lot of times I'm disciplining my kids, but I'm not delighting in them while I do it. And they can feel the difference. I had to learn 3 things the hard way, and these 3 things can change everything. Here's the first thing I got wrong. I thought discipline was about making my kids pay for what they did wrong. They disobey, they lose something. They talk back, bigger consequences. But let's read what it says in Hebrews chapter 12. No discipline is enjoyable while it's happening. It's painful. But afterward, there will be a peaceful harvest of right living for those who were trained in this way. Trained, not punished, trained. So, when my daughter yells at mom, I try to stop asking what consequence will make her stop doing this, and start asking, what does she need to learn from this? Because the issue isn't that she yelled, it's what was she learning, whether to respect authority and how that matters in that house. That shift from punishment to training, it changes every discipline moment. Second thing, my anger wasn't really about my kids. It was about me. I tell myself I'm frustrated because they won't listen. The truth is, I think I was just afraid. Afraid of losing control, afraid of being a weak dad. Afraid they'd turn out undisciplined. People would talk. And when I couldn't control that fear, it came out as anger. Then we read in Colossians 3:21, "Fathers, do not aggravate your children, for they will become discouraged." Every time I disciplined out of fear, I was making it about my need for control, not their need for training. So I had to get honest. Am I angry because they did something wrong, or am I angry because of fear, because I'm afraid? Most of the time it was fear. And once I realized that I could deal with my issue before addressing theirs. Sometimes. Because I still get this wrong more often than I'd like. The third thing, I was trying to make my life easier instead of making them better. For years, I just wanted them to stop disobeying, stop making my life harder. I wanted compliance. My daughter would obey out of fear. My son would comply until he figured out I wouldn't really follow through. But look at Hebrews 12, verse 10. God's discipline is always good for us so that we might share in His holiness. God's goal isn't just right behavior, it's right living. It's character. I can train my daughter to obey out of fear, but the second she's out of my house, that obedience disappears. I can intimidate my son into compliance, but I'm not teaching him how to manage his emotions, how to respect authority, how to become a man of character. So what do? We need to change the goal. Not just stop doing that, but here's what you're learning in this moment. So here's what I finally figured out after all these years. The reason I get discipline wrong, too harsh with my daughter, too soft with my son, is because I don't actually trust that God's way works. I said I did, but I acted the opposite. Like, I didn't trust you could be firm and loving. I didn't trust that boundaries were good for my kids. I didn't trust that discipline produces character. That's what my actions were showing to my children. So I defaulted to the world's options: control through fear or abdicate through permissiveness. But look at how God disciplines us. He's firm, clear boundaries, real consequences. It's always in love, always for our good, always to train us, not break us. Strong hands, calm heart, clear boundaries, patient training, rooted in love, not fear. And when you discipline this way, your kids learn to trust your authority because they know it's for them, not at them. When I get this right, my daughter doesn't obey because she's scared of me. She obeys because she trusts I'm leading her somewhere good. And that's the difference. So how do you do this? 3 practices, 3 dad reps I'm going to share with you that you can start today that will get you on the path of biblical fatherhood. It's not a magic bullet, but it does get you started. Dad rep number 1, pause plus posture. Before you discipline, pause. Take 3 seconds, 5, 10 seconds, whatever it takes for you. Get on the eye level with your kid. And what it does, it forces you to calm down. It changes your posture from I'm about to explode to I'm here to lead. And it tells them you're leading and not intimidating. Dad rep number 2, 1 clear consequence. If you do X, here's what happens. Then, when they do whatever that was, you calmly proceed with the consequence. No yelling, no negotiating, just calm, consistent follow through. 1 warning, 1 consequence, every single time. Dad rep number 3, repair within 24. When you blow it, And I know from personal experience that you will, because I do it all the time. Apologize the same day. Don't let it sit. Apologize. Hey, sweetheart, I yelled last night. That wasn't right. Will you forgive me? Son, I was too harsh earlier. That's not the dad I want to be. I'm sorry. This may be the hardest one for me, but it's also the most powerful because it teaches them that authority isn't about being perfect. It's about being humble. Humble enough to make it right when you're wrong. It took me 13 years to learn this. Honestly, I'm still working on it. But you don't have to wait that long. Here's the bottom line. Biblical authority is strong hands and a calm heart. Your kids need you to be strong. They need boundaries. They need to know you won't cave. They also need to know your strength isn't rooted in anger. It's rooted in love. So this week, try it out. See if it works. Pause plus posture. One clear consequence. Repair within 24. Then, watch what happens when you lead with authority that comes from confidence. The confidence that God's way actually works. Hey, if this teaching helps you at all, please comment below. Let me know. Ask any questions and press that like button. Subscribe to this channel and don't forget to ring that bell so that you won't miss the next episode. We're going to talk about spiritual leadership, how we disciple our kids when we barely have our own faith figured out. And if you missed any of them, you can catch the other videos in this Fatherhood series right here. See you next time.